Hey, welcome to this art video. In this video, we'll be discussing how do you start finding your style, while you also get to enjoy this time lapse of me trying to paint two abstracts, really focusing on black. I got this new, I don't even remember what it's called, but it has the wedges. And so I started out with playing around with that. I got it from Blick Art Supplies in LA when I visited, and I really enjoyed it. I want to apply it in my future paintings. But anyway, hope you enjoy this time lapse. A lot of it was weird. Weird shapes just kind of came out of nowhere, and at one point I think I'm literally painting the recording icon. It almost looks like the YouTube play button, but whatever. Let's just get into the chat. So first, let's talk about what style even is. It can be the specific brush stroke technique an artist uses that is always recognizable. It can be a repetitive main subject or figure in an artist's work. Kind of like when someone likes your outfits and says, "OMG, I love your style." Meaning they love the way you present yourself, whether it be the clothes you wear, the color patterns of your outfits, your hair, your overall appearance that you put time and effort in, to the point that they'll see a similar outfit on a mannequin and send you a pic of it and say, "This reminded me of your style," or "This reminded me of you." Again, it's recognizable. It's you, and they know it's you, without a doubt. So what even is voice? Put simply, it's expression. What are you trying to express with a brush stroke? What are you trying to express with the overall piece? A feeling, an idea? Are you trying to start a revolution? Put simply, style is recognizable and voice is more expression. I could definitely expand more on the meanings of style and voice, but I just wanted to give you a simple definition for the sake of this video, since I'll be talking about both of these things. And hopefully that helps give you a better idea of what each of these mean. Some artists think that style and voice are the same thing. Others think they are entirely different things. Honestly, either one is totally valid. The things I share in this video are definitely more familiar to me and my experiences, so if I don't mention everything there is to know about finding your style, well, yeah, again, I'm sharing my experience in hope that it might help someone like a beginner artist or even an intermediate artist who just feels stuck or trapped in what their style even is. So what helped me find my style? Honestly, I still feel like I'm discovering what my style is, but these tips and experiences are things that definitely helped me get to where I am now, which is feeling confident and proud of what I create. First, learn the basics. That way you're thinking less about mechanics and more about representing your voice, your intention with the painting. Not that every painting needs to have this deep meaning, but more so that you're mentally in the moment and in the process more. Focusing more on the mechanics can create more robotic creations, meaning you're not loose or relaxed. Instead, you're thinking too much and not in a flow. You're thinking way too much about what's right or what's wrong or what's following the rules. One way to help you learn the basics with lower pressure is getting a sketchbook, with the intention of the sketchbook to experimenting, getting loose with and comfortable with. With this sketchbook, you can start learning composition. Composition is 100% important with all the arts, music, photography. Knowing composition will help you understand why a lot of artists will place main subjects in certain areas of the painting, in certain areas of the canvas. Again, understanding composition will also help you to be more in the flow of your creating without focusing so much on mechanics. Next is understand color theory, or at least learn the basics of color relationships. Even finding color palettes online that gravitate to you can help you know what colors work together, or what colors you like even, and possibly what colors are a part of your style and personality. Next, watch tutorials online, try challenges or exercises. One thing I appreciate about the art and music community is that there is less and less gatekeeping as time moves on. People are not looked down upon as much if they didn't go to music school or if they didn't go to art school. Although this is definitely helpful and sometimes required for certain fields, it's not 100% required to be a creative. So take advantage of all the resources there are online, in your local maybe recreation center. Ask questions, meet other creatives, find a community, whether virtual or in person, because this will really help you grow in your art and understand better what your style is or what you would like to emulate. So yeah, once you take care of the basics, there's much more mental space for you to learn about, know, and understand your voice and style. Keep track of inspiration, whether that's using Pinterest, collage, scrapbooking, writing on a Google Doc or in a journal, keeping a photo album on your phone, whatever it is, just make sure you have a way to document all these things that inspire and interest you, because these definitely impact and influence your style. It also helps you to know yourself more, which is definitely something that is important when finding your style, is knowing yourself. Are you a rule follower, a rebel? Are you someone who doesn't color outside the lines? Are you a dreamer, always getting lost in your thoughts? Do you pay extra attention to the little details that most people overlook? Knowing yourself is always going to be portrayed in your art. For me, knowing myself more and what I liked, what I didn't like, helped me understand what my style, what my voice was. If you've already watched other art videos discussing style, you may have already heard this before. In fact, you probably heard this many, many, many times. And why is it always mentioned? Because it's freaking important. And although it's not the final step to finding your style, it definitely helps you get closer to knowing your style. So just do it already. Spend time alone with yourself, meditate, pray, go on a hike, walk, whatever it is that works for you. Sit outside literally with just you and your thoughts. Make this a practice to help you learn more about yourself, because self-awareness is key to being a creative. Creativity is always a meditative practice. And although I don't consider myself a meditator, I consider myself an overthinker. I am alone with my thoughts quite often, but I learned to love it. Most of the time, being alone is what brings up new painting ideas, new music inspirations, new tattoo ideas, new life goals. The list goes on and on. It also just gives me a break from the world, which again is a much needed space to style discovery. Something I've learned about myself is how I tend to identify with rebels, rebellious artists, rebellious musicians, nonconformists, which is why I think I gravitate to and enjoy painting with wild strokes and shapes and marks, and try to make these more significant in my paintings. I like to make people wonder or question authority. Breaking boundaries and breaking expectations are something that I connect with. So this helps me understand more of what story I want to tell, or what I would like the viewer to wonder about when looking at my paintings, which would then allow them to say, oh, this is Monica's art because it's Monica's style. And most importantly, practice, both with and without references, both with and without a plan. Find repetitions, find patterns, see what you tend to do the most. Ask yourself why you keep seeing certain patterns. Again, you don't have to overthink it. There doesn't have to be a wild, deep meaning. It just helps to see if this is a part of your style, or if you'd like to make it a part of your style. And along with practice, make bad art. If you're an artist, you have heard this many times, but this applies to all creatives. Even the greatest musicians have crappy songs that they wrote, or awful guitar riffs that just didn't work. Great photographers had awful composition or focus, but please remember that you are literally on a journey. Journeys take you somewhere in the end, and you're always bound to have these learning curves, these creative blocks, these sucky art phases. But there is always something in the crap. There's always something in the crappy art you make, whether that's experience or patterns in the artwork or a new idea. Crappy art lowers the pressure, honestly, so try new things, find patterns, Go on a creative journey to find yourself. Something that might paint a picture for you of how this works is kind of like when sometimes people crave something new. So they buy a plane ticket to somewhere, travel to this somewhere, and find inspiration. This happens so much to people who travel to a new place. Similarly to drawing or painting or creating something new in a totally new territory, inspiration can always appear. And if it doesn't, that's 100% valid. Don't force it. Just enjoy the experience of doing something new. And yeah, easier said than done, especially if you have anxiety. But I encourage you to start making this a practice. You never know how much this will truly help yourself, help your art, and help your style discoveries until you actually try it. Again, these aren't strict rules, but more of guidelines to help you start discovering more about yourself, your artistic style, and your artistic voice. Ultimately, finding and knowing your style is what will help you make art that you're proud of. And that's the goal, isn't it? Go create, go do something new, make crappy art, sit with yourself for a quiet 5, 10, 15 minutes. Overall, just enjoy yourself in this creative journey that you're on.